Hello, I'm Rich Fidlow, and today we're going to talk about outdoor sump pumps. Now, the outdoor sump pump, it is the most thorough way to solve your drainage issues in a lot of circumstances. So let's take a quick look at why or who would need an outdoor sump pump. First, what you need to do is you need to install a proper drainage system that's very efficient at collecting water, and you need to drain that water downhill. Now, if you do not have a lower elevation to drain the water to, your only alternative is to pipe that into either a dry well or into a pump, and then the pump will eject the water off of your property. Now, there's quite a few shortcomings to having a dry well, which is nothing more than a hole in the ground that's lined with filter fabric, surrounded with clean gravel, and the idea is you install your drainage system, the water will flow into your dry well, and then the surrounding soil, the water will disperse into that over a period of time. Now, the number one biggest shortcoming to that is when the ground is saturated, it no longer can absorb any water. Your dry well, regardless of how large it is going to overflow. So what you need to do is install the outdoor sump pump. Now, the sump pump, it doesn't matter how much water flows into your system, the pump is going to be pumping continuously to eject the water off your property, and the combination of the proper drainage system with a sump pump set in a dry well is far and away the most effective method of getting your water off your property. Now, let's take a look at this, one of the many outdoor sump pumps we installed. What we have here is a concrete block basin, and you will notice that inside this basin you have your sump pump, the drainage system, which actually pipes the water directly into the pit itself. You have your iron frame with a grate that goes on top. You have your electrical conduit. If you'll notice, the block, there are gaps between the block to allow water to flow freely from the surrounding gravel into the system. Now here you can see it a little better. You've got all perforated PVC, clean gravel, your filter fabric. So in essence, it is a dry well with a sump pump in the center of it. Now the concrete block basin is the correct application for an outdoor sump pump. You certainly could use a plastic pump, plastic pit rather, that's designed for indoor use. You can install more than one pump in this basin. You could also install a much more larger, more powerful pump that has a higher gallon rating for ejecting water. But this is a close-up view of your your drainage system being piped directly into the pit. You have your pump with the float. You've got your check valve. We use a 2-inch ejection line. When it's done, if you're going to use an iron frame and grate, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be surrounded with the decorative river stone on the surface, and the electrical conduit is connected to this 4x4-inch wood post, pressure-treated wood post. The finished product is going to look like this. This is the correct way to do it. You have your GFI outlet with a protective bubble mounted high enough where if you ever have a flood that's far and away more water than this can handle, and it goes over this level, it's not going to really affect the pump in any way. But it looks nice, and it really does the job properly. Now, this is one of the jobs we've done. If you'll notice here, this is before we put the filter fabric in. Look at the gap between the block. That's intentional. That allows the water to flow freely into the system in conjunction with your drainage system that we would install. This is another job during construction. Now, you do not have to have the surface grate at a low level to absorb surface water. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Water is going to flow directly into the sides of the pump because look at the gap in between the block. Water will just flow freely right into it. And this is another job we've done. It looks really neat, and you know, it does the job like nothing else. Here's yet another one. You can see that the filter fabric that separates the gravel from the earth keeps the whole system clean. And this is yet another job we've done. This one here has an aluminum frame with a lift-off hatch. Now, the aluminum frame with the lift-off hatch looks like this. In most cases, we prefer this style to the iron frame and grate for a good reason. It keeps the system clean, keeps the pit clean, and minimizes maintenance. And again, this one here's done. The electrician did not get to the job yet to install the GFI outlet, so this is right before the electrician arrived. Now, the drainage system that flows into it, usually I like to install what I call a trench drain, and I'll also install modified drain boxes in conjunction with the trench drain. So this is the finished product of what that looks like. This flows directly into your outdoor sump pump. It's nothing more than perforated PVC, surrounded by clean gravel, wrapped in filter fabric, and then you have your decorative river stone on the surface, and your drain box just goes in conjunction with that. What it does, it collects water very efficiently with a high gallon per minute or gallon per hour, whatever term you want to use, rating for the system to perform at its optimal. Here's another job we did. This particular job, if you look at the size of the trench drain, this is all going to be covered with decorative riverstone when we're finished. This is actually 4 separate 4-inch perforated PVC lines wrapped, surrounded by gravel, wrapped in filter fabric, because this particular job, every time it rained, the entire backyard was transformed into a lake, and this eliminates that. Same job during construction. This is a very large 10 by 10 dry well that the sump pump is sitting inside for additional capacity. And once again, inside, this is a 7,000 gallon per hour pump. Look at the inside. You can, and we have done this on many jobs, install 2 separate pumps inside the same basin. You could even install 2 basins and have them in conjunction with one another. So regardless of what your job calls for, we can build a system that is going to have a tremendous ability to collect and eject water in the event that you don't have a lower elevation to drain the water to. So that's all I have for today. What I'm going to ask you to do, if you live within our service area of Union County, New Jersey, give us a call, send us an email. I'll come out to your property, we'll give you an estimate, and we'll talk to you soon.